Welcome to the Principled Women in Business podcast with your host, Lauren Dulgeru, aka the Solutionist. You are about to discover priceless insight, experiences, and perspectives that will inspire and empower you to break down your own obstacles and reprogram your own limiting beliefs. All while raising women business owners to the pedestal that has been long awaiting, the coronation of true, principled women in business. Welcome to the Principled Women in Business podcast.
I am here with Hanna Girling of i-BIMP here today, and it is an honor to have her here with us. As you guys know, I speak very much on growing and scaling businesses so that you can achieve that highest exit value when you do decide you're exiting, whether it's 10, 5 years, 6 months. We want to make sure that you're prepared for that. So Hanna is here today to really nail in the importance of teams and building a professional team, because there is no I happening in team. Hanna, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Lauren, so much for having me. As you know, this is a topic I'm so passionate about, and I'm so thrilled to be here and sharing with your audience today.
Tell us more about what you do and how you got here, and truly what i-BIMP stands for.
Yes, of course. Yeah, no, i-BIMP actually stands for Intelligent Business Improvement. And this is really coming from that we're kind of basing all our work on data. So it's not just that sort of objectivity we go in with, we also collect data at the start of it. And how I got to where I am today, it's kind of a long-winded story, but I started as a chemical engineer, worked in the multinationals, but then transitioned to become a coach. And I was for a long while consulting and coaching into the corporates. And I realized that there is a lot of resources and tools available to them. But the engine of our societies are really the smaller businesses, the entrepreneurs that get going and start their businesses, but much less of those resources available to them. So that's why I started i-BIMP. I really wanted to get that opportunity to provide those resources and tools also to smaller businesses.
You know, because you do come from the engineering industry where, you know, there is that, I'm going to say it, alchemist thinking, where we're thinking there is no box. We're looking at all of the different pieces. If you guys are only hearing the audio, please come and join us on the video. You can come and find that on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and LinkedIn. So you can see the video that's coming along with us. But you work through an engineering. So now we know that different mindset and how you came into building these teams. So engineering of tangible items and now engineering of human teams. What have you found that was the most pertinent change when you started engaging with more people and bringing in different specialties?
Yeah, I think this is the sort of uniqueness that every individual brings. And I think that's something that I connected with already when I was working as an engineer. I really saw that opportunity within people. So that's why then I transitioned and I started to work a lot with individuals. And we draw out the potentials in each and one of them. And then I just realized that that power of teams, that sort of opportunity when a group of people come together, that can bring so much more than just the sum of the individuals.
Yes.
And I think it's so powerful when that happens and sort of looking at that.
You know, and you kind of start touching on that item a little bit, because we can't be a specialist in numerous industries, numerous fields, numerous disciplines, wherever you're at. We can't be a specialist in all of them. Let's take that back to the doctor's field. You know, if I felt that my heart was palpitating strangely, I would go and consult with my GP, who I surely hope would refer me to a cardiologist, right? Not a neurologist. And that really stems back to business, as we want to speak to the professionals where they're trained, they have experience, they have mentorship, they have teams, they have these things and the processes put in place. And what I really wanted to touch on in this show is that when we go into business, and I was guilty of this when I first started out. I started when I was 7, but even in my early 20s, I can do it all. I got this. I can do it all. And I feel like most all of us have this feeling happening when we're first coming out in business or first moving into that first year of true revenue. We feel like we need to scale back. But Hanna, you need to correct us. That's not the case. That was never the case. We were trained wrong. We have to engage with our other people, our other specialists, to really bring together that multiplication, that value, and that service to our clients, our customers, vendors, whomever we're working with.
Absolutely. You couldn't be more right. And I think there is so many aspects to this that are so easy to just sort of almost miss. And I think it's particularly difficult for people that have started their own business because they know it inside out. And it's often harder to sort of start delegating. Yeah. So many of us are showing those signs of being a perfectionist and wanting to keep that really high level and therefore hold on a little bit too tight. But it's only by building a team we can actually create a business that's going to grow sustainably and actually last for the long term. And we all know this, right? If I'm having too many kind of hands on everything in my business, and then something happens to me and I can't work for a month, what will happen to the business?
What happens? Then? All of the thing goes down. But let's take that even farther, right, Hanna? Let's say, for example, you are a master in creating pottery. That is your business, and you sell pottery. You are a master in it, but you don't know how to obtain the capital to get the equipment, the supplies to put out your product. You don't know how to obtain the credit profiles to bring in the vendors to give you the supplies that you need, or where to outsource it, or the processes to put in, or what specialists need to come in. How do you build that team? And I'm going to say 90% of the time I hear business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs reporting to me that they want to do it all because it saves money. Hanna, you know this better than most. What money is it saving?
It's saving no money. It's just holding people back. And I think it's also one of these elements. I think that's one aspect. But then when people also take the step to start hiring someone, there are easy things that we can miss out on. And the first thing is that people tend to hire to free up some of their own time instead of actually hiring for growth. I think you highlighted so many really great examples there that actually, like, what is it the business actually needs to grow? And that's where we're going to look to hire people. I also think people have this massive concern of like employee versus a contractor. Can my business really takes it on? And I think whatever you feel comfortable with is absolutely fine, as long as whether it is a contractor or an employee, that you bring them into the business in the same way, that you align them to the vision and what you're trying to achieve, because that will create that sort of gel within the team that is really going to propel the
unified growth. Alignment, right? That common unity, the community.
Exactly.
And, for those of you listening out there, I'm just going to get the question coming out real quick. I don't know who I need on my team. And that is an absolute always question. You are not alone in that question. That is the first question, Hanna, that we get, right? Talk to your preferred advisor, your mentor, somebody that you trust, somebody who's been there and done that, who's built teams, who has grown businesses, who has exited businesses, who has been able to bring up those valuations. All of your goals, you want to make sure that you're speaking to those people. Myself, Hanna, we're available. You can reach us on the Principled Women in Business podcast, and the actual direct email is going to be info, I-N-F-O, at principledwomeninbiz.com. And we can make sure that those questions get asked personally, privately, and confidentially. Because, Hanna, at the end of the day, people really, let's be frank, you and I didn't feel very confident talking about these things when we first started out. It was kind of, oh shoot, I have to ask for help. Oh my gosh, I can't do this myself, right? There must be something wrong with me. My friends, my listeners, that is not the case. Everybody is stronger with a community and together. We didn't come on this journey called business ownership, business foundership to be alone, because we wanted to bring people with us. We wanted to serve a community. We wanted to serve other businesses and help them to grow. So there is no way that we could possibly be alone on the journey. And what Hanna does is so precious to me, because owners really have a difficult time letting go of that delegation and giving away those personal items so that you can focus on the things that are going to move your meter. And as a business owner, as a founder, you should always be focusing on things that are going to move your meter, not daily tasks. And building a team and bringing that together, bringing in professionals who do this day in and day out is going to be your game changer, which is really, Hanna, why we wanted to do this podcast here today. I've mentioned day in, day out on my content, my videos, that this is very precious to me in building out teams and people and specialists and advisors, people who know more than myself in other industries, because nobody does it alone. What would be your piece of advice, your very first piece of advice for an owner or founder who says, I'm really tired of being the solopreneur and not having the time for myself, the time for my family that I really went in to do for this? What would your very first piece of advice be for them?
The first piece I would say is that bringing people into your business doesn't have to be difficult. And I think to make sure that you don't lose sight on kind of your profits and growth while you bring people into your team is to really hire where you're already generating revenue, so that the people you bring in can directly bring in a positive return. So rather than trying to bring them into something that you're building out, start where you're already bringing that revenue in, bring them into that, and then you can focus, very much like you said, Lauren, you can focus your time, what is going to move the business forward. But I think if you start there, this is a safe thing to do, and that you don't have to worry about kind of the outlay, because it's immediately going to bring back that return for you.
Absolutely. And when you have people who are aligned with your mission, with your purpose, and how your business and yourself are looking to change the community and the culture around you, whether it's regionally, nationally, or globally, we want to have people who are in with that mission. And that is not a tall task, my friends. There are people out there who are looking for your mission and want to help serve you and your team and your business. If you don't currently feel that you have that alignment or you have that access, you have professionals, you have advisors who have been here on your team. Myself, Principled Women in Business, you have Hanna, you have people out there who are looking to serve you and make sure that your business is growing faster than you thought possible. Because at the end of the day, let's be very frank, none of us were actually trained to do this unless you had an MBA plus a master's and a doctorate, right? And we all have to learn together. So let's come together in this. And Hanna, I would love to have that one last poignant piece of advice that all of the listeners need to know about team building and unification and community, what would be yours?
I'd say that it's really important that when we have a team, when we're building a team, that we regularly actually assess that sort of performance piece. So this isn't about whether someone delivers a task or not, but are they actually focusing on the activities in the business that drives revenue and growth? So I think that is something that we need to always remember. But I think you've talked about something so important in this, that sometimes it might also be difficult to know where to start. And sometimes just asking the right questions is going to be the exact things that you need. And to your point, that's where communities is so helpful, and having people around you that you can turn to. So don't feel that you have to build your business on your own. You can do that together with other people.
There's people looking for you. They're wanting you. They're waiting for you. There's people, advisors, there's whole teams waiting to advise you to grow your business. All you need to do is raise your hand. You remember how we used to do in class, right? Raise your hand. It's not a foreign feeling. We do that all the time. It's not that uncomfortable, my friends, but I'm glad that everyone was able to join us here today. Hanna, it honestly was a profound pleasure with i-BIMP, because this is something that it was a harder lesson for me in my earlier comings on. I was definitely one of those people who was like, I got this, no worries. So this touches very deeply to me, because this was one of my harder lessons. And I love talking about bringing in those advisors, those team members, people to delegate. And when you and I had spoken previously, you are on with building community and business and helping and serving. And that's so important in commerce. Commerce isn't about making money. Commerce is about servitude and serving your clients, serving your customers, serving your vendors, serving everyone. You know, business wasn't about making money. That was just the bonus that came after it, but it's truly about servitude. And I'm glad you were able to join me here today on the Principal Women in Business podcast. Again, my name is Lauren Delgaro, AKA The Solutionist, here with Hanna Girling of i-BIMP, and we are building teams, we are building advisorships, and we are helping you to delegate so that you can work on your business and not in your business. Because let's be quite frank about it, because y'all know I'm frank. You didn't come into this to lose 60 hours a week. You came into this because you wanted that freedom of time. You wanted to be able to spend time with your loved ones. You wanted that choice of schedule. You wanted to be able to really determine what your business was going to earn every year. And if you find yourself in the place where you really don't know where to turn because you weren't formally educated in those places, you're not alone. That's why the Principal Women in Business podcast is here. And we're here to advocate, educate, and really truly be your partner in this journey called business. Again, I'm Lauren Delgaro. We'll see you on the next episode.
And that wraps up another episode of the Principled Women in Business podcast. Follow us on social media to never miss an episode and to unlock full access to your trusted business solution center. Find us on Facebook, LinkedIn, Insta, and YouTube. Till next time, stay strong and keep crushing. Find us at laurendulgaru.me or call 407-337-1117.